Good evening, everybody, and we're back from a non-public we had on a new hire for the police department. And at this point in time, would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we go to public comment, I'd like just to make one comment from here, is that I'd like to thank everybody that was at the election, that worked there and helped make it possible for yesterday. It was a lot of work, a lot more logistic issues as far as wearing masks and not masks. And from the highway department and everybody that the town clerk had, and all the volunteers that came in and helped, they did an excellent job, and we got through it without any incidents. And after reading articles from other towns across the state, I think we came out, and according to the Attorney General, we came out looking a number one. So thank you very, very much to everybody. Good job. And now public comment.
Frank Campana. Just to back up what Jack said, I was one of the people that worked.
Frank,
Oh.
could you take that off? We can't hear it on the microphone.
Oh, really?
While you're up there, and then, if you don't mind.
Well, I will reluctantly do that.
Oh, well, it's just
Okay.
easier, we can't hear you.
Okay.
It is-
No, we were behind quarter-inch plexiglass yesterday, and didn't seem to be a problem. But in any event,
It's easier on the-
I'll do that.
Listen, thank you.
But again, I do it reluctantly.
Sure.
Okay, just make that known. I would advise the chairman to say, we look forward to doing that again in November.
The town moderator, who fortunately has my
Okay.
ear, is not really looking forward. She lost sleep over this one, but I think this was a good test run. So I think everybody's, if we keep going that way, we should be okay.
Be nice to think we don't have to do it, but.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get public comment section started off wrong, so please bear with me and don't misinterpret anything I say. The police chief back, I have some minutes of August 17th, and I also looked at the YouTube, but the minutes seem to cover it pretty good for my comment. I had heard before the police chief mentioned the position of a corporal in the police department, and I would guess the board is probably not going to object to that. But here's my concern. I don't really know what the corporal's going to do, but it sounds like it's getting to be a top-heavy police department. I do believe, and I wouldn't know where to go back, how far back to go. I believe, I was hoping to find it in the 17th minutes, but at one time when he first broached the corporal to you, he used the word supervisor. Well, some years, not too many years back, in fact, Mr. Hippler referred to the three sergeants on the 17th in regards of presenting the prospective corporal to you folks. He said, well, we did it with the sergeants. Well, at that time, Mr. Kelly presented and promoted, I think, three sergeants. I don't know if it was all at one time, but they were supervisors. That was his term. In fact, we even had a car. Well, I take that back. We had an SUV. I think it was probably the Explorer, but I'm not quite sure. It could have been the smaller car, whatever it is. And it had supervisor written on the side of it. And at that time, Mr. Kelly said the reason for the supervisor was for each shift. Well, again, if my memory serves me correctly, that was the same term used for the corporal. And in that meeting of the 17th, they were talking about laying new carpet, and it said new carpet and into the entrance of the police department, presumably, and into the new corporal's office. Well, when I read that and heard that, and then read it, what's this person going to be? A supervisor behind a desk? Mr. Hippler said at that meeting, Selectman Hippler stated he believes this is the will of the taxpayer. The will of the taxpayer referring to having police, a cop on the road. Chief, let's see. More, well, that's the way it was stated. It's on page 5, the top of page 5,
What,
the 17th.
17th?
Yeah. I know I'm taking it out of context.
I think
You were
the
referring, you were referring,
24-hour service
pardon me?
was the service not being interrupted.
Right, yeah, I guess, yeah. But you were talking in context, the board was talking in context of the implication of the budget, of having the context. In fact, the police chief went so far as to say, it's at the top of the page, it's under the number 9. The police chief went on to say is, well, we do not have to fill the last position, so we don't go over, referring to the budget. Well, and that's when you
That's when I put my,
made your
yeah.
statement, okay?
That-
And I agree with you, okay? You know, so, I don't know, like I say, I'm pretty sure you're gonna, you know, you don't want to disappoint the police chief and say no to a corporal, or that type of position. I did a little bit of math, and please, anybody can correct me. You may not get it tonight, but I can always stand to be corrected. Police chief was asked, there are 12 people on the force, including him. And I have 6 supervisors. He has, there are, with the potential corporal, there'll be 6 supervisors. There'll be the police chief, there'll be a lieutenant, there will be the corporal, and there'll be 3 sergeants. So that's 6 supervisors. Now that's for, if you will, for 3 people. I presume the police chief is a supervisor. So let's exclude him, so that's 11. So you have 6 supervisors for 11 people. Right now, unless something has changed, the officer that got injured in his elbow, I believe the police chief said when asked, relatively recently, he's still not back to full duty. So he's, if you will, behind a desk. So there's one less person on the road to supervise. And he also, so that's 5 people to supervise. The 6 supervisors are supervising. Then also in that same, I think that same meeting, there was another, actually one of the sergeants, I don't need to mention his name, I can if you want. The police chief said that he's not on the road. So there's one less. So you're down to 4 people, for 6 people to supervise. Something doesn't sound right to me. That's my tax money, you know? And do you really justify the position just to satisfy a request? It would be nice to hear some non-public discussion of the supervisor. The police chief at the last meeting went outside, outside the building here, in passing, you know, and courteously between he and I, he said, you know, he'd offer me, I mentioned about job description. He said he'd offer it to me. And I bluntly told him, I said, it's only a piece of paper. You know, job description is only a piece of paper. There's nothing that says that he's going to be held to it. Nothing that says that he's going to, you know, take it upon himself to hold himself to it. You know, nobody will check, you know, to be sure. So that's my public comment for tonight, is that position. It seems like it's getting very top-heavy. The next will be a deputy police chief, all right? And I say we have a lieutenant, but there's always, and I think of military, I think there's captains. You know, there's probably captains in police forces. Lieutenant's going to go to a captain. Then we need another lieutenant to replace him. I don't know what the corporal gets promoted to. So a lot of chiefs and not too many Indians. And like I say, please don't misunderstand me. All right, that's my comment. That's my observation, and I would really like to hear it publicly discussed. And from both sides, you know, of the issue. Well, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Thanks.
Any other public comment? Okay. And department heads and committee items, we have nothing on the agenda for that. So the next one is to finalize the personnel policy. And the finance administrator can step up to the podium.
Hi. Beth Rouse, Finance Administrator. Okay, you received copies tonight of the final personnel policy with your changes included. If you want to just skip to page 2. Under employee classification, I reworded exempt and non-exempt. To your satisfactory?
Absolutely.
Okay. On the next page, page 3, I reworded the part-time eligible employee, which is the one that's working at least 25 hours on a continuing or indefinite basis. And then I included the ineligible employee who does not follow under that. So throughout the personnel policy, I changed it, whether it's an eligible or an ineligible part-time employee. The performance evaluations on the same page, I deleted the section on the performance, the raise was based on the performance evaluation. For your request. Any questions on those pages so far? No. Okay. Then on page 7, we included the 21 plus years for vacation on both the full-time and the part-time eligible employee. On page 8, I did include the half-day increments for the vacation leave, that they can be used in half-day or full-day increments. Okay, when it comes to sick leave at the bottom, we did discuss putting sick leave and personal leave together. However, that became so convoluted, it was not even funny. So we went back to the way it was. Sick leave should be used for an employee who is sick. Take a half day if they have to leave early, and then a full day. No hourly increments for sick leave. It's you're sick. Stay home, get well.
I thought we had discussed leaving that hourly.
We did, but we're leaving the personal leave in here because we really think that sick leave is not paid out to an employee. So it's really for the only benefit of if they're ill.
Yeah.
We don't want them taking sick leave for hourly increments to go to doctors. It's when they are ill.
Okay.
But if you want to change it, come up
Nope,
with
nope,
something.
I don't want to go down that road again.
Okay. All right.
That
Because
horse
when-
is long dead and buried now.
Okay, all right.
Boss
Because
was
you left
sick.
the bonus leave, you left the bonus leave in,
Yep.
which, yeah, we want sick leave just to be, they can't take it with them when they leave unless they're in here forever, 20 years. So it's just if they get sick, and it's 3 months until FMLA, yeah.
Did you guys take a peek at any of the pay stubs, just so you could see what she was talking about? I know we did last time.
I didn't have a chance to this.
Because I could probably find one just if
No.
you want to look at it. It's definitely broken down exactly.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's easy to track. I think we talked about the confusion part. I think it's so easily tracked. Would you admit that after looking at last week's pay?
Yeah, it's easily tracked, I still don't agree with it, that's all.
How come?
Huh? No,
How come?
I just think it should be a bigger, all in one pot. That's my thing. Personal time off. I don't care if you're sick or if you got a medical appointment or if you just don't want to be here. PTO, your time, personal time. But again,
Okay.
the board has spoken and
I agree with Ricky, but it's,
The thing is too, if you're gonna, now you're looking at paying them out for their personal time, if they go to leave, they get paid for their vacation time, they get paid out at it.
Right.
So how are you gonna do that?
no, and that was
Can't.
part of it.
That's
Well, with the
big
personal leave, they can only use, what is
Yeah.
it, 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah,
If you put it in with sick, now they can use a
yeah.
lot more hours to run errands.
Like I said, if,
I think, to Ricky's point, it's just get rid of sick, get rid of personal, get rid of all that stuff. It's just flat. Here's your time.
That would
But
be
if-
a lot easier.
Here's
You
a
wanna
bucket.
just put
Here's
it
a
into the
bucket,
bucket.
and it's
but.
yours.
That's
when-
how a lot
again,
of
when
lot
you-
of civilian market's going now.
But like,
too.
then again, when you accrue it and you wanna get paid out, like you get paid out your vacation time when you
But a
leave,
lot of-
how are you gonna figure that?
Well, that's the thing is a lot of those are front loaded.
Yeah. And we don't front load. because of the fact that you could be here today, you get
Gone
front-loaded
tomorrow.
all your vacation time, and then you leave after you get the
It is a
front-loaded,
risk.
and
Yep.
that's a
Yeah.
risk. That's big money you gotta pay out, and
No, it is a valid risk.
we're
I
not,
think it would be a lot easier if we were starting fresh with the first personnel policy we ever had.
Correct.
We've got people all over the map.
Yeah.
or
Yes,
all over.
exactly. That's
So-
the
And I
problem.
think that's the confusion.
That's gonna be the confusion.
Because it's harder you take away from one and do
Yep,
something else.
that's
Everybody's
why
in a
it's
different place.
very difficult to even do
Yep.
that
Right.
now.
Yep.
Um,
And it's working, so.
Can we change the heading of H, sick leave, and change it to sick leave and personal time? Because there's no personal time actual header labeled
But
in
we
here.
can bold this part.
So that's what I was saying.
Okay,
Is-
add that
is
as a
sick
whole
time and
section.
personal, and then call out personal time under its own little subsection in here.
Yeah.
Gotcha, I see what you're saying.
Just to,
So do you want to change it all and make I personal, or do you want to?
no, I think you could
H.
say H,
A.
Okay.
sick leave and personal time.
Personal.
Yep.
A and B.
And then, yeah, maybe the first section will be,
1 and 2.
And then Roman numeral 2 for personal time. The definitions don't have to change, I'm just
Yep.
thinking for clarity.
so you can
And
see
you
it.
did say that after 20 years, bonus time gets paid out?
No, bonus time is a whole other animal. It's I.
No, I was gonna say, I've moved on, that's.
Oh, okay,
that's-
you've moved
I've
on.
I
You're
moved
moving
on
on.
to bonus leave,
Okay, so bonus leave, at the end of the year, I take a snapshot.
okay.
So if an employee has 24 hours in bonus leave at the end of, at December 31st, they have till April 1st to use it.
Right.
If they don't
Whatever
use
is,
it,
yeah.
I pay them.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and that's fine, I heard 20 years in there somewhere, and I'm like.
Well, that was for sick. You don't pay them out until,
And that's laid out in here right at the top,
Yeah.
so.
yep,
Okay, we're good.
only for sick.
We're good.
So personal is gonna be Roman numeral 2. Okay. So any questions on bonus leave while we're there?
No?
Okay. At the bottom of page 9, I changed the wording for jury duty so that it's more concise with the juror who is scheduled to work here. Okay with the wording on that?
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine.
On page 11, under P, expense reimbursement, I changed the verbiage on meals. I think it was like $6, $8, $10.
Yeah, it wasn't even close, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8 and 10, I
Right,
think.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was, and I think that's what we
Yep.
came to the
Based on
conclusion of.
area, yeah.
And what a difference. Boy, you can have a nice breakfast now. I think it's $12 for breakfast now
Breakfast.
Yeah.
versus
And
5.
that's about right,
Where's it
honestly.
listed? Oh,
You have to go to the US.
Even if you go to McDonald's and get an egg McMuffin,
It's
it's got-
$12.
it's
Yeah.
$12.
But it's for the
Orange juice and
area
coffee.
versus giving you $5 and $3.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a
Based on-
conference down south or in the Midwest or something, everything's cost different.
Yep.
So it's based on this,
That's what you're hoping for, that free continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, yeah, they
Stay at
offer
a-
it.
Load right up.
Stay at a Hampton
Carry
Inn.
purses.
Exactly.
Why women have purses. On page 13, under I and J, I did add that the short-term and long-term disability are available from a third-party vendor at the expense of the employee. And we also included the longevity bonus to include 25 plus
K, life insurance,
life insurance, yes.
should we put something in there that more is available? Because if they can purchase more.
More than
lots of-
10,000.
Oh, from, yeah, another third-party vendor,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they don't just say, well, geez, I'm only gonna get 10,000, but you can purchase more if you wish to.
Similar language to J and I then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Additional life insurance, additional available from third party.
And we changed the, we all set? Okay. And we changed the verbiage under the uniforms to accommodate takeout.
Oh, yep. So I did change that one because it was brought to my attention that there's an establishment in town that's family friendly. You can go in and have a sub or pizza. I didn't know they served alcohol, but apparently they do. So if an employee wants to go in there, I didn't know they did that. So if someone wants to go in there and have lunch,
Just no alcohol consumption.
yeah, so it was, you
I
cannot
did see that.
consume.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Because I didn't know that, so,
This has been sound.
yep.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from any establishments in town. Any other questions? Any other changes you have notes on that I didn't go over tonight?
No, I think you hit all the high
I
points.
think you got it. Yeah.
So what's your pleasure from here?
Well, make those changes that we just brought up, and then we'll sign it. So it's-
Okay.
Sign it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So if she makes it and gives it to you, you have plenty of time to read it between now and the 21st?
First, yep.
You want a clean copy for the 21st?
And yeah, sign it.
And then we'll sign it.
Yeah.
And it takes effect immediately
Okay.
from that
And
date.
on, since we aren't signing it until the 21st,
She'll change the cover.
Change the date.
effective, well, if there's any changes in current practice as a result from this new policy, brought in compliance by September 30th, that's only giving them 9 days.
Well, you could do it immediately on signing, too. Some of it would have to take effect immediately.
Well, I
I'm trying to-
understand that, but any changes shall be brought into compliance within 9 days. What if the department heads or something can't do that?
Such as?
Such as?
Yeah, I need an
The other phase of
example.
This is gonna be signed first.
Such as? What would prevent them from bringing, what things would prevent them from bringing it in
Trying
now?
to think of what.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something
Not a
that,
whole lot, but I can think of.
it's really just cleaning it up.
Yeah. Well, tell them they gotta stop going to establishment for lunch and drinking a beer or something. But I mean,
I didn't
that's,
think of that.
You only got 9 days to do that.
you got 9 days to clean it up? Yeah, no.
Well, I'm gonna change the date on the last page anyways.
I don't think any of this is that
Critical.
major or critical
That,
to.
yeah, that big change, no. I mean, a lot of it has to do with just, administrative stuff that,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
just,
if,
but it has nothing to do with the rank and file,
No.
per se. It's,
I was just,
I mean, if you want, if somebody, one of Natalie or Beth puts an email out saying this is coming, read it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
just-
all
maybe
employees-
just a
And then that
blanket.
way there, we make it effective that day,
Maybe just a
Where-
blanket 30 days.
when our autographs go on
In
it.
case there's something we just don't think of right now, we'll just 30 days from
Yeah, well, that
from
could
the
open up-
amendment date.
That can also open up a big can of worms if something happens between now and then, too.
Well, no,
I mean,
it's
we
they're
have
still
to-
under the personnel policy that we have today, so.
so we can just say November 1st?
I wouldn't
That'd be a good
Yeah,
even,
one.
we
First
gotta
of the
change the date on that one anyway, so.
I'd say, yeah, October 1st, November 1st? I wouldn't even wait that far. I'd wait till October 1st. That still gives you plenty of time. Today's the 9th.
that's only 2 days.
Well, you're signing it
Yeah,
on the
we're
21st.
gonna sign it for 2
Sign it
weeks.
for the
First, yeah, that's right,
21st.
the 2 weeks, so, okay.
November 1st, 2020.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
On my end, it's mostly
case there's
just
just-
cleaning up.
I don't think there's gonna be any
Oh,
issues with it, but
But if there's that one thing that we haven't thought of,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
thank
Can
you
you
for
see it
all
one
your
more
hard
time?
work.
Yeah.
See,
Yes,
one
thank
more
you.
time.
You bet.
Are we done with ours?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Questions, comments, concerns?
No?
And then
The
you
signatures
break it?
on it. No, I didn't break it. I did find though, you have to have the numbers in the right place to get the
You couldn't get it.
left side latch to go in.
Should I put a little note on the top of it, tell you what it is?
Well, no, I mean, I know what the combination is.
You probably can figure
I
it
just wanna
out.
make sure nobody breaks it.
Touche.
Yeah. I got told not to break it, so I don't want anybody else breaking it.
Thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the next thing is the manifest.
That's you.
Yep. The following manifests were previously ordered to sign at the August 31st, 2020 Board of Selectmen's meeting. The payroll manifest for $61,257.48. That's the weekly payroll checks dated 9/10 of '20. And the accounts payable manifest for $56,200. $278.72, checks dated 9/10 of 2020. That's it.
We don't have to vote on it, because we already approved it.
So that's it. We read it into the record. We already approved it, but,
We are approving it up too.
yeah,
So
Yeah, 'cause the
those
last-
we're just
last-
reciting the actual amount.
We're
Last
just citing
meeting,
the
we
rack-
approved it up to September 17th.
yeah, so,
So we're just.
That's right.
that's right. So we're just giving, we're just giving the updated amount, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, so all you do is read it.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, now we have the minutes for the 17th and the 31st. Okay, let me pull them up. Okay, the 17th, we already pretty much went over.
Yeah, any changes, yeah.
So, let's see, anything on page 1?
Same thing.
I didn't see anything when we were looking through it to begin earlier. Anything on page 2? Anything on page 3? Page 4.
Yes, so last paragraph, 8, second line down all the way over, it says our loyalty, it should be her loyalty.
Page 4?
Yeah.
Yep, I see what you're
Under
saying.
section 8,
Oh, okay.
all the way over to the right.
Yep. It's complete, yeah. Yep, her loyalty. Okay, anything else on page 4? Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Wait a minute, go back to page, I just saw something, page 9. Last paragraph, under boiler repair, the last sentence says plumber to fix, Plummer. Should be Plumber. Sorry, Karen. Okay, page 10. Page 11. Page 12.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of August 17th, 2020 as amended.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That one, with the rest, we can now go to the 31st. Okay, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of August 31st, 2020 as written.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Takes care of that. The next one would be the administrator's report.
So, the town hall sign,
Yeah.
Benji and I spoke today. He has talked with the gentleman from Rover's Signs. Benji wanted to dig the holes tomorrow and, cause he's gonna dig down 30 inches and set it, but the gentleman hasn't connected with Granite, Swenson as to where the holes are gonna be drilled. So I gave Benji what we had for the dimensions and how the sign were built. It talked about the 7x7 granite posts, talked about where the holes were gonna be drilled. So Benji was gonna try to reach in tonight. I don't know why we were waiting on the posts, because it was on the whole design that we had at the beginning.
Yep.
So, but Benji, the next 2 weeks, Benji's got the pavers coming and he wants to wrap up, the paving that he's got left. So he's not sure that he'll get to it. He's gonna try to get to it, but it may be 2 weeks. This is probably a good time because there's no one using the sign after this weekend. The only one that was going to use this sign was the bingo, but other than that, with the town hall not being open, the sign's not being used. So it's not gonna put anybody out. We got by the elections so that can be taken down. He's hoping within the next 2 weeks you'll see the sign go up, but there was a little bit of give and take, cause there was, Benji said, I don't know why, we don't know how big and how deep, Now, we are gonna have to, that's probably not gonna look in the greatest shape, cause all those stones that were stacked there, that's gonna come down. One pole's gonna be a little longer than the other. Now, there has been some discussion, I guess my thought was we would wait and see what it looked like after it was done. There's some thought, we're gonna make that raised bed again with the stones, and again, I'd like to see what the granite looks like there before covering things up. I don't know how the rest of you feel about that.
One of the complaints, or one of the issues I've seen coming from the north, there's just one particular bush that's covering half the sign most of the year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of it could be trimmed.
That's right by the base of the flagpole.
When you do use it, coming from the Henniker
Yep.
to this side, you have to almost get to the sign and slide your letters one way or the other,
Yeah.
'cause it doesn't.
Can we relocate that particular plant that's causing that?
I mean,
Turn it back a little
Just
bit.
trim it.
just
Yeah.
trim it
Okay.
low, trim it lower.
Yeah.
It was never an issue, so it could very just be trimmed.
The only thing I had asked is that we just be careful, when the flagpole was there, there's a bunch of bricks that people had purchased.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Which kind of needs to be rebuilt. When I was there this weekend, it's kind of starting to fall
Fall over.
Yeah, fall over towards the sign, so.
you think it's everything settling?
I think so, yeah.
Probably
'Cause I
frost.
don't even know what's under there. Benji asked me.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's some wires in there
I mean,
somewhere.
Jan
Right.
might know.
There is wires in there. I was over there the day they were doing that.
Did you get that?
Carol would know too, because he's gone over and fixed that light.
Not when I was there.
Okay, because he was gonna do that. Yeah, because that would be the only thing, because people did buy those stones
Yep.
to put there and there. But, we'd have to make sure that we could at least, we don't know what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look sharp, I'm sure, with the granite
Right.
and a nice new sign. But I don't know what to put there. I will tell you from experience, putting a lot of letters on there, in the winter, it's extremely icy to bounce along that little rock wall.
That
To
ledge.
put things up there. You have to hang on with one hand because it's stone and it's slippery, nobody
Yeah.
sands it, so you have to be extremely careful when you do it. I don't know what the answer is. If you left it at a slope, would it be easier to put them up there? I really don't know what the answer is.
Make
I'm
it
thinking
a
a raised bed to
Make it
make it
wider.
level
Make
across
it
that.
Make it
wider.
wider and then
Yep.
So you're
easier
not
to
on
walk
the
around.
rock.
A little work, but I don't think in the fall's the time to do it. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, we'll see what it looks like after we get it up, and then I guess we can make a better
'cause he's
determination.
gonna be down 30 to 36 inches, he said,
Yep.
and he's gonna put,
Sonotubes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sonotubes,
So he's gonna do that, and then
Exactly.
one's deeper than the other, and
Yeah.
it's just,
so it'll,
But it would be nice to get it done, I know Ricky and I have talked about that before, but just connecting and trying to get Benji to do the work is, you know, and then the concern about the shrubs, but I even had a conversation with Peter Stockhouse, and I said, Peter, I don't know if we'll just do what we can to save things, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if things are trimmed and things have to be moved, I'd really like it to look pretty, not,
Yep.
you know, like you said, one needs to be trimmed or else you can barely see what's on it.
It also blocks the, one of them there does the same, it blocks the
remember-
light for the flag too.
Is that sign lit?
Yes.
Is it supposed to be lit?
I think it's.
There's
No,
a
the only
sign-
light that I know
The
of
only
is,
light I thought
the
was
only light is for the
flagpole.
flagpole light.
Oh, flagpole, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can see it, it's not this, you.
No,
look-
not backlit, but I'm talking like, there are lights shining up on it, so you
No,
can't see
just-
it at
just
night?
the- just the flagpole.
Okay, all right.
And you can see it when you'd go through,
Yeah.
or at least you have been able
And
to.
that light, yeah, that's, the bush cuts that light to the flag, because sometimes you don't even know there's a light in there because of the way the shrub is around that light.
Yeah, well, that's I mean, you can see, yeah, it's just,
Need some,
it needs to be a little fixed up,
Yep.
obviously.
Yeah.
I just wanna also, it's CIP season, and we just started CIP last Tuesday with, the police, the fire. Benji is on next week. Is there something that the board, which goes back to the list of buildings that we have to still, we didn't do anything last year with. Is there something you want to put together for CIP? Which leads to John's, you guys all got the email about the radio infrastructure?
Yes,
Okay, there was a discussion about the no means no,
Right,
and because the study had nothing to do with
the studies, were-
Improvement.
yeah,
upgrade,
so,
I don't know where you're gonna find $29,000, but,
I think I'd like to ask the Board of Fire Wards if, because the two biggest users are fire and PD, and both of those have had the majority of the issues. Highway is not as much of a user. I'd like to see if Board of Fire Wards would be willing to split half of that with police.
in leftover money, I mean, what are you thinking?
See if they have it in this year's budget, so we can get a head start on it for this year.
well, they have, the fire department has the money coming in from the rescue squad, and
That goes
that's,
in the special revenue fund, you can't touch
that,
that.
you can't touch that, that's just for equipment.
Just for equipment and, yeah, vehicle purchases.
the other thing is, I don't wanna start taking any money out of budgets until we see where we go towards the end of the
Yeah, we get
next
close,
month for
yeah.
or this month rather, for
Well,
the
you're gonna set
tax,
the
for tax rate,
Hopefully in October.
and
I
hopefully
don't
we
know
have
that.
money
But
for offset.
I'd like to at least get the discussion going.
Because-
The sooner we can start
Well,
talking about it, the sooner we
am-
can try to make a decision. I just,
I agree, but
it's gonna take, I think it was what, 6 months, I think was what it was estimated to get a final report from this company. The sooner, the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and I agree to a point, but the other thing is, during the fact of what's gone on with the pandemic and revenues, we're not sure that we're gonna get all the money coming in, and I don't wanna start spending
I would
a
rather-
whole lot of money right now.
I would rather spend money on this than this sign or landscaping. This is a life safety issue, and I'd
I
rather
mean,
put
the
money
sign's
into this
already
than.
bought and paid for.
Yeah, but if we gotta do landscaping around it, pull the money from that. I wanna put money into making sure our guys are safe, our guys and girls are safe. That this,
I
the other
agree,
stuff,
but I don't wanna,
think
I
is-
don't wanna get too far afield of it either.
Nope, like I said,
Because
I
we
wanna have the
got- we
discussion
got that
with PD and fire,
responsibility.
Jack's Police. I'd like to have the discussion with Board of Fire Wards and with the police, see if they've got the money for it. If they've got more than enough, at least we can have the discussion. That's what I would like. I don't know about everybody
I
else.
don't-
At least see what they got.
Yeah, I don't know about the police department, because, right now, I'm not sure what their budget looks like.
That's why I think we need to ask.
Can they come in at our next regular meeting? Can we have them guys come in and speak to that?
I mean, I can
can reach out to
gladly-
'em.
I don't think they have to come in, I think we can just
Yeah, I
reach,
think
send
we
them
can
over, reach
just
out.
reach out, and I'll be honest with you, both department heads typically watch us anyway on YouTube another day.
Yep.
So they're gonna know that,
There's interest.
right, there's interest in where it is. We're still in September, we haven't finished third quarter yet. I don't know what it's gonna look like. But at the same time, I think it's worth maybe thinking about it, obviously.
Mhm.
But
I just, I don't wanna see us start spending money on plants and stuff like that when we know we have an issue, we have a set number, we have the legal opinion that this does not apply to Article 17 of last year. We need to do something. All we do is talk right now. Let's do something.
Well, I think we haven't talked. We've
But we
made,
also gotta get 3 quotes at that price.
we've also got to get
So-
the.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up.
You gotta get
Plus-
that thrown out there, so
plus-
that's gonna take a few minutes.
Yeah, plus, I
We
mean,
we gotta do something.
they've been going forward with it, and Austin has come in, and that, we're not sitting on our hands, and we're not ignoring it, I think. But, you know, to just say, we're gonna go out and spend this money, we gotta look to see what we've got first, because if you can't spend what you don't have.
Again, that's why I'm asking, let's go to the Board of Fire Wards, let's see if they have the money. Let's go to the police, let's ask if they have the money. If they have the money, okay, now let's start talking about getting those 2 extra quotes.
Yep. And
If they don't have the
quotes.
money, then doing it now is not gonna do any good. But, in my opinion,
If
first
not,
step
then
is
you
do they
make,
have the
then
funds?
make it an issue, you know, make it some type to put it in the CIP.
So.
Put it in
and
for
and it was
an
presented
article.
to CIP.
Yep.
It was presented, but at the same time, a question was, is there something we could do to move it along this year? And I thought no means no, we got that answer.
Answer, so,
So I'm gonna throw it back to you. Last year, we tried to do air conditioning, we got the air conditioning
fixed.
fixed. Town hall's been sitting there, the eaves, we never got
Never
them to
got
come
that.
back, because again, we're down to 50-something thousand.
Yep.
I know, I got an email from the library, would like to come talk to you about lawn care and snow removal, and I think it's an air conditioning unit. So I explained that, you know, we were kinda at our limit of the $60,000, trying to urge maybe a CIP request.
Yeah, as far as
Because-
snow removal, don't they have that in their budget to do their own snow removal?
Well, so right now, and we've been back and forth, right now, they pay Stockhouse, we pay Stockhouse to mow the lawns.
Right.
They had someone shovel their walkways, we have somebody that shovels our walkways, I've not confirmed, I don't know that he'll be back. And I think that's what the snow removal is about, because Benji plows the parking lot.
Right,
But snow removal to them, they had a young boy that shoveled down back and shoveled in and sanded and salted. They don't have that person returning. I don't know that we have our person returning. I haven't asked yet, I don't know if health will be a problem.
Right.
So I know there's a request, is there, I mean, the quotes I've got for the other work was 2015, that's gonna be old, with Walker. Do you wanna push forward with the town hall?
Well, it was Walker and, what's his name?
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Homes for Life.
yeah,
Who?
Bruce,
yes.
what's that? Bruce Fillmore.
Bruce Fillmore, that
Yeah.
was.
Bruce Fillmore did a
But
quote
I guess I'm asking.
a long time ago.
Do we
Yeah.
wanna refresh in those numbers and,
Yes.
and participate in the
I think we'd
CIP
have
like
to,
everybody else?
yeah, I think we'd have to
Because
refresh
last
those
year, we
numbers.
kinda tossed it on at the
I
end.
mean, you look at building materials has
Oh, it's
been
way up.
way up and almost non-existent in some
non-existent,
places,
Right,
so.
Well, you know, and I'm just gonna put this out as a broad statement. I think that this board, all department heads, all other committees need to really prioritize.
Yep.
And prioritize very heavily. You know, like you said, Jack, this pandemic has caused a ripple effect. Whether it directly affects you, the individual, or your family, it's caused a huge ripple effect in the economy and costs and et cetera. And you know, some people still aren't working. Some people are financially, you know, not in good shape. I think that really it has to be a bare bones warrant this year.
Oh, I agree.
You know, I don't think we can really put any, pardon the expression, can't put any fat on it this year.
I was
In
leaning in
year-
the same direction.
In years past, we have, you know, we've put a lot of, we want requests, I'll say, on there, but it needs to be,
We need, no. what
we
want.
need. It's not we want, it's we need. And we have to have. And that goes for, like I said, this board and all other
think-
committees and department heads.
The biggest thing to look at is that we have services that we provide for the taxpayers, and those are the ones that we have to prioritize to make sure those services get met.
Right. I mean,
So is the town hall a want or need?
I mean, to me, the rot
Rod
is a
should be-
need.
should-
The windows is a want.
Right.
You know, to me, I mean, the
Yeah,
rot
'cause
is a need.
The rot is a need, because if you don't fix the rot, it gets worse and worse and worse,
Right.
and it doesn't take long for it to go downhill quick, so, I mean.
But the windows.
The windows,
and
they're
we had
holding
something
their
else
own.
on there too.
Well,
didn't
they've
we?
got storms on them, so they can go
Yeah.
in.
We had something else on that list when we put it through last year, but
I think
those
the
were
corner
wants as well.
boards,
To me, that was
Some
wants
of
as
the
well, but the
corner
rot
boards.
is a need.
the rod on it, yeah.
That's all
That's
I need.
been 10 years now. I think I brought it up 10 years ago,
So
those holes
quote
up there.
is not to do, because I did quote, we did get a
Yeah.
quote for
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
but I could refresh the
Just for,
rot,
yeah.
Yep,
and do the need, because
And do
it's
the
gonna
need.
be terrible if we don't.
yeah, because it's just
But-
gonna,
It's just gonna get worse.
it's gonna fall off around your
And I
ears
think
eventually.
everybody, was gonna appreciate not, because we don't know what it's gonna look like. We don't know what's gonna happen in the fall. We don't know what budget season's gonna look like.
That's right.
You know, we, unfortunately, we just got a memo from the retirement system. That retirement system, just for the second half of 21, is, it's a huge increase. So-
Six figures, so that figured out today,
Just for the town aware.
that's what we gotta pay in,
Yeah.
six figures.
So that, you know, and that's, so there's a lot of things that have to be tightened in.
Right.
And I think the warrant really needs to be looked at, as you said, and that's why CIP, you know, it's nice to ask for everything and let the people have a vote. But at the same time, I don't think we need to confuse people with a
No.
lot of things that,
No.
like Ricky said, we have to really focus on the need
Yeah,
in
What's
time
need?
of need.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's really where I'd like to go as well, but I kinda have to ask the question because it's time of season, but I'll put together what you'd like, but at the same time, I think Ricky hit, right, it's a need, not a want. It's nice to want a new car, but do you need one?
Yeah.
Right.
Are we, I mean, while we're talking about that, are we up for another bids on our fuel?
Actually, yeah, she reached out to me today, and I just asked to see what, we're not
'Cause I
until
mean-
October 1st.
Because I know
But I
the
wanted
prices
to
have
know.
dropped drastically
Yeah.
this
But I
year.
asked
Couldn't even give it
her,
away for a while.
Yeah,
I
so
asked
if we
her
can
what
get
the
locked
going
in
price
before it
today
goes
was. I
up.
didn't get a reply back,
Yeah.
but I'll get them for September 21st, because we're done October 1st.
Because if we can get,
So I'll get the 3 quotes.
if we
but
can
I
get
have
them
to
at
get
the,
'em, like,
yeah.
that Friday or that Monday morning to be done that night, because they change every day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we can get it at a
So,
lower rate than what we've had, and I think the prices
But-
have dropped so drastically lately.
But like you said, yeah, we maybe will save a little bit there, but we're gonna lose it on the retirement.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
everything we gain on
Maybe-
fuel, we're gonna lose
But if we could
threefold.
save, if we could save a little bit here or put someplace else. then
Well,
let's-
yeah, exactly, and, you know, to carry on that thought, have we made it anywhere on that, system that I recommended looking into, the FirstNet radio?
No, I've not.
Okay.
The guy from Georgia and I have not connected. He calls when I'm not here, I call when he's out there.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just thinking, again, you know, I do
Yep.
wanna improve the radio system, but if that's a viable option that we could experiment with, we wouldn't be doing nothing.
I could call Derry, because
Yep.
Derry was one he said that they worked with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that, I
So
mean,
instead of trying to connect with Georgia, he
Yeah.
sent me an email, and Derry,
Yeah.
New Hampshire,
I mean,
does that.
yeah, and maybe we can, you know, see what they have had for experience. Again, on their website, I mean, it looks like a viable improvement, and maybe it couples with
Yep.
the radio survey that we have to do.
Mhm.
But if this could improve it even double digits percentage, I
Maybe-
think it's due diligence.
Maybe reach out through your town administrator network and see if there's any other towns in New Hampshire that
Well,
are using
The guy
FirstNet.
from Georgia finally emailed me, because I said to him, I said, different times, different
Mhm.
things. I said, can you just send me some more information, or someone in New Hampshire I could talk to?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's not gonna help me here.
No.
So he did send me and say that Derry uses it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The reason why I'm thinking we try to reach out through your network,
Yeah.
he's gonna tell you all the success stories. I want to hear through
Good or bad.
your
If it's good or
side,
bad,
if there's
yeah.
any bad side.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Right,
mean, if
and-
you call Derry PD, you talk to, probably the one that'd be, to talk to would be a Captain Frioli.
Well, I know.
He's a
that
second in
Dairy
command.
Town Administrator-
Yeah, and he could tell you if they, he's not bashful to tell you if there's good or bad or indifference with it, so.
Yeah, but I want to hear the bad.
Yeah,
I don't want.
and
I don't want to be
I
spoon
think
fed
you
that one.
guys make
No,
a
I'm
point.
just saying, he would
Yes.
tell you the whole
Maybe they don't even
thing.
have it anymore.
Right.
Yeah, they
They
may
may
not
have
have it.
experimented with it, found out it didn't work, and tabled it.
Yep.
And the other thing is too, is obviously there hasn't been a cost mentioned, so I don't know what it costs to put
I
this
know, I asked for
in.
more information, never.
I don't know if
came
it's
up.
just purchase the radios and there's a, like a service contract type thing goes along with them. I don't know. I know nothing about it, but it was.
You might-
And the
Yeah.
flip side of that is FirstNet. And I haven't looked into it. Is FirstNet primarily law enforcement, or is fire on it also throughout the country?
I believe that.
Law enforcement.
I believe it's. Yeah, I believe.
So
It's,
that doesn't solve the fire aspect of
well,
things.
but then again too, it could be primarily fire, but who knows if it could be EMS services using it? Could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think that we have
The
enough information to
advertisement
make that.
shows us police, though.
Right. But I don't think we have enough, information to really
But
make an
when-
determination.
But when they
Right.
did that through AT&T, the one through AT&T, it was for all emergency services.
Right. Oh, exactly. I think the radios are the indestructible type or whatever they are. They call
I'm just
it.
thinking of the cost involved for
Oh, yeah.
fitting new radios.
But then again,
You
too,
may have
if
to do
it's-
that anyway.
Yeah, very true.
If it's 30 grand,
I mean,
where would and we have a couple of test units and drastic improvement, where do you want to spend your 30 grand? That's, to me, 30 grand is a lot of money to be spending. And I'm not saying that
possible
that we
pipe,
don't
yeah.
need to do something, because we absolutely do. But if this other system could, I don't want to say not solve the problem, because
Oh, no, I
that's not
agree.
going to happen.
I don't want to put a.
Help,
I don't want to put
substantially help.
be a stepping
I'd
stone.
rather stab the money at that than, and continue to chisel away. I mean, the town has so much money wrapped up in this radio system right now. It seems like we keep putting money at it, doesn't work. So
No, I agree.
something outside of the box might work. I don't know.
And we got lucky
Oh,
a year ago that it wasn't a lot worse than it was.
right. Oh, absolutely. So
Request needs, radios, fuel. I just have correspondence, I guess.
Okay.
same here.
Go ahead. Any correspondence?
I just, I had if you're all done, I had asked of, I'd sent you, let me back up, All Seasons Campground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got a request for people to stay in November. You saw my response.
Right.
They asked if you had any different response, so I'm gonna ask you that question. I had the director asked me if that was the final say. He understood that I replied, and that we were meeting tonight. And did the board have any different answer for them than what I supplied them? What, you all remember what I explained, that, this happened a long time ago, and when you sign up and buy in All Seasons Campground, full head of well that you cannot stay in the month of March and the month of November.
Right.
I totally understand, we're in the middle of a pandemic, I get it. I believe some came up before and stayed here in March because of the same reason. You guys can do whatever you'd like, but I truly, you bought knowing, just like mud season or anything else, you buy a house during mud season, the road's posted, and if you can't get in, you can't get in. It's just my opinion. I put it out there. I told you exactly what I thought needed to happen. Now they were asking if that's truly the board or just me.
Well,
so.
I think the other thing we have to look at is part of that went to court, and there was a court decision in that, and along with the planning board, and the court said no. So, I'm not one that wants to go against the court and end up in another issue further down the road. We can get in enough trouble on our own without, doing something like that,
I would agree.
especially.
I agree.
So I
I
think,
agree on that.
and the other part of it, and I understand the pandemic part, but, this is now coming into the season. You should have been planning for this a lot longer, and most places are all open back up. Now, I know we had the issue early on, coming up from Massachusetts because of the pandemic. Okay, if you came, we told them the same thing. No, I mean, you can't, it's outside of the codicil, for that facility. So, now, I mean, okay, you should have had enough foresight to plan, you know, down the road, that's my opinion, and I wouldn't, instead of waiting to the 11th hour and then coming to us. And no, like I said, the court said, this is it, this is the way it went to court, the judge's decision, you know, and the court's decision is this way, okay? So, I'm sorry. I'm not one to go against that. Because I think we'll open up a Pandora's box if we do.
Yeah, no, I think we should stick with the court decision,
Yep.
honestly.
I don't know, John?
So it's the board's decision as well.
Yeah. Jeremy?
Stay with what the courts agreed.
I agree. I'm just wondering if we want to offer them, if you guys want to go back to court, you can pay all the legal fees, and we can get another opinion from a judge. Put it back on their court. If
I think
they want to go down that road,
They can do that if they want, but I mean, that's up to them.
Did I offer them to go back?
no, it says, your words, a change like this may require a trip back to court and then a trip to the planning board for approval.
Okay.
So I'm just going off of that. If they want to go forward, we'll be happy
Yep.
to entertain that, but
But
it
they're
will not
gonna-
be come out of our legal budget.
No, we're not, I mean, they're gonna foot the bill for it.
I agree.
And one way or the other, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Oh,
if
yeah.
the courts say that it's okay because of, and I have no problem flipping,
Right.
but we
As
don't,
of right now, yeah.
you know,
No.
we don't have,
We don't have the money to,
we don't. If they want, if All Seasons Campground wants to do that,
Well, I mean, you've
we'll
gotta
be
look
more than
at,
happy
you gotta look at
to
the other
listen
part.
to-
yeah, but you're gonna have other,
You gotta look at the backside of that issue too, because the other side of that issue is, part of
got
the
other
reason being
campgrounds.
because you're gonna have every other campground looking at it, and the other part of it was for taxes. You're gonna start having, they don't pay the same amount of taxes that a regular,
That's gonna be-
full-time resident does, and if they're gonna start coming in and they're gonna start putting kids into the school system and everything else, and we're not gonna get the same
Yeah.
thing. It's
Everybody
not,
paying a piece of the pie.
it's not equal
like I
payment,
said.
and that was part
if
of the
they want-
decision to
If they want to
begin
go that route, they're welcome to.
Yeah, if they
Go-
wanna go that route, I don't think we ought
I don't think we should be
offer
doing that.
route to
No,
Let them figure it out.
let them do it, and
Right. It's 100% on them, I mean.
Yeah.
not on us.
But, yeah.
But it's
because
still gonna affect us if in fact that got changed. We got kids
Then we'll have to do a different, we'll have to look at it differently.
rescheduled taxes and,
Well, I mean, that's up, then we'll have to look at that a different, it'll have to be up to the court. That argument can be made if
But
and
that can
when
be
it
made in
goes
the
that-
court,
Yeah.
yeah.
If and when it goes that way.
But no, I'm in agreement with the board. Let's stick with the court decision. That's
Correct.
Okay.
It stays.
That's the only one I had because I
Yeah.
got 3 or 4 phone calls.
I was gonna
and
say the
asked
same
if-
thing, and that was,
And
okay.
asked if I would bring it back to you guys as a board, not just my conversation. So that's why I asked that. That's the only one I was asked 3 times to do that.
Yep,
I've got a couple questions if
okay.
we're at that point. Has the plumber been contacted to fix that safety valve at the town
Yeah,
hall?
it's been done. You guys paid for
Oh,
it
you did
2
it?
weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't notice, okay. Also, as of Sunday, I think it was, that partial tree that had split down in the cemetery up on Mount Dearborn, that was there 2 weeks before Memorial Day. It's still there as of Sunday. So nobody's cleaning up anything.
There's a tree.
It was like a tree, part of it split off and landed down on top of the headstones. It didn't break any headstones off, but it's still hanging there.
This is on Mount Dearborn Road?
Oh, Dearborn.
Yeah, yeah,
Mount Dearborn Road.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just up right across from where,
Get the stop by.
Hood's Farm there, where
Richards.
Richards and Charlie.
They start down the hill.
Yeah.
on the left.
On the
It's
left.
It's just almost across the street, yeah. Do we know why there's an increase in the retirement? Did they give you a,
I can, I mean, I'll bring it all to you.
yeah, I'm just curious.
Well, I think it's still catch-up mode,
Yeah.
because what's happening is people are still retiring and. they
Now
were
they're
banking-
retiring in numbers, too.
They're retiring in numbers, but they were banking on a 6% return and the bank's not, you're
Off,
not
they're
even
not getting anything,
So-
yeah.
Plus there was that 10-year
Catch-up.
catch-up type deal, which I
Yeah.
think this is the last year. I
Getting
think.
close to it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, make up for the fair
Because there's
share.
a lot of people, in light of the whole pandemic thing, is.
A lot of them are retiring early.
Stepping aside.
Yeah.
Almost 3%.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
CIP nights that they're gonna be working here on stuff, when is that gonna,
CIPs are in the day,
oh, it's,
it's
but,
in the morning.
okay,
So we're on the 15th, we're doing, Benji's on the 15th at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
That's it.
I got a couple things.
Okay, you're up.
Can we get your administrator's report in paper again?
Paper in, yeah? No, he asked, right?
And there was a couple things that the police chief brought to us. I'm sure he'll bring them back up. I don't want the board to forget the tow policy and I think there was the officer's handbook.
Yeah, I know the tow policy was gonna be formalized for the first of the year.
Right, but I noticed we haven't mentioned it since it came in.
Yeah, he did the last,
Well, he may have touched upon it, but we haven't
Yeah.
actually, you know, we sat here for that 2 or 3 minutes and we called a couple things out.
yep,
But I just don't want the board to forget that, you know, that's out there.
In that handbook?
yep.
Yep. Oh, I got one more thing too.
Still up.
There was and I think this goes back probably a couple weeks now. There was a post on one of the Facebook pages inquiring about the house at the corner of Buzzell Hill and River Road, asking why the town owned it and hadn't done anything with it. And I just happened to fill them in about the fact that we held on to that because of the bridge improvement
Right.
that's gonna happen there. That's gonna be the staging area for the construction equipment.
Yep.
That was well received by many people on that page. That's one thing that we gotta put on the warrant article. It's still a need to put that 105K on there as an article for the bridge bond.
Yeah, that's,
What we were done last year.
I thought
No, I
this
thought this-
this was the last year.
I thought this was the last year.
Um,
Yeah, me too.
With that being said, I guess I'll ask the board, that, is that something I could ask the fire department to look into permitting to train and get rid of it?
I don't know if there's anything, I mean, yeah, I don't see why not, I just don't know, with what's left there, I don't know
Well-
if
Are
it's
they
gonna be
still burning?
viable.
I thought they weren't allowed
I'm
to
just
burn
asking,
buildings
I know
anymore.
There's permits have to be.
There's
got.
permits have to be pulled, there has to be inspections done, it has to be labeled correctly, there has to be ventilation, spots put in it correctly.
Yep.
But I don't know if that structure will tolerate
Much.
much.
It'll
Much more than a stiff breeze, I don't think it'll tolerate it.
I just thought I'd
Surround and
ask.
around, basically.
I don't even know that.
No,
It's
I'm-
probably
Give it-
ventilated
give it a
enough.
push with a
Would
pike
you
pole.
object if I asked?
No,
Maybe.
no, I don't, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
I
just
just
have
asked
a
maybe
excavator
because,
swing across.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
It would be better.
I think a
removed or-
good heavy wind would probably take some of it.
Because I can just ask, and
Yep.
you're right, maybe nothing,
Yeah.
but if we
Yeah.
can.
No, I
make it
don't-
Look a little better,
We can look
Yep.
into it, yeah.
okay. Because we did put stones at one point across, because there was some activity going on there. So we
Yeah,
tried to
somebody
keep that
coming and
down.
going,
Yeah,
nefarious issues.
The alternative to that is take the town's excavator up in and.
Just
take
clean
a
it up.
dump-
Yeah.
big dumpster and
Yeah,
Get rid of
just
it.
swing
Yeah.
and be done.
okay, well, I'll have someone look at it, I just think it would be nicer somehow cleaned up.
Anything else?
Couple of things. Status of putting the signs up on Reservoir. Are we gonna do those this year? Or are we gonna wait till springtime?
It's on hold, I guess, till spring now.
Well, I
thought-
gotta ask Ben, you asked me, and I meant to ask Benji, because they were supposed to connect. I don't know if should they put them in now, or,
Well, they're probably
might
gonna
as
get
well wait
damaged,
till-
you're gonna be
I'd
plowing.
wait till spring.
Might as well wait till spring.
I mean, it's not gonna
You
be
gotta
much of
plow
an
and
issue
knock
now.
'em.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And then either last meeting or the meeting before, we had discussed the permanently affixed trash can at the gazebo. And also putting up a use at own risk or something to that effect sign on the gazebo.
The trash barrel that's there is fixed.
Permanently.
Yeah, it's bolted to the ground, correct?
It's bolted
That's what I
to a
was told.
cement
I
pad,
just
yeah.
stopped there.
Okay, are we going to remove that or are we gonna keep it there? Because I'm assuming
I'd
we
like to see
still,
it removed.
I
okay.
would too.
Carry in, carry out.
Yeah, I would too, because
I
it was
don't know how that'll
overflowing
work.
again yesterday, I think, when I went by it at one point.
So is that our decision to make or is that a
Yes.
park thing?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we remove that trash can from the gazebo.
Okay, it's gonna probably have to take the highway guys, 'cause I have no idea.
That's
how
fine.
it's fixed.
Okay.
They can,
It basically, I don't even know, I'm just asking. Is
Well-
it bolted down,
I
I
think
don't
it's,
know.
I think it's attached to a cement pad under it, it looks like.
attached?
It sits on a cement pad. I don't
not
know how
near-
it's connected, so you'd probably have to dig the cement out.
Bad, probably 2 or 3 inches.
So you have to take the cement pad out?
Yeah, you pick the whole thing
Take
up,
the whole thing up.
Okay.
it looks like.
Well, we're on
They
the,
could tell better when
So you make a
they may
motion
even,
I make a motion that we remove the trash can at the gazebo.
oh, well, we're on the gazebo, the bench.
well, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The other-
Benji may know with that too, by the way, because he did all that work over there when they took the old gazebo down, so he may know how it's attached, because they may have
Maybe it's
moved
just
that.
bolted down. It's just
Could be.
simple as cutting the studs of bolts, just to get rid of.
I walked across the street a week ago, and one of the benches on the backside, if you're out by the store, 2 of the slats are broken, right out, those chunks of wood, they've broken them. So we probably should either take them off, take them away, or fix them. Yeah, then, they're fairly thick. And one was in the grass,
How old are
By
they?
4.
Holy smokes,
2x4s, I think, yeah.
How old are they though?
The what?
10, 15.
The slats?
Oh, I don't know.
2x4 slats on the back and the seats.
Seats, and 2 of the seat slats are broken.
Replace
One's
them.
completely
Probably with the
broken, it was in
plastic.
the grass, and the other one's broken.
Yeah, was it, yes.
But it's a liability
They
for
got a
us.
separate, different material, and it's really thick, and I know the state uses it now on theirs when they
I thought it
It's
replace.
like a PVC kind of material.
No.
Yeah, it's a
it was just
composition.
wood. It was a 2x4.
No, what we're replacing it with.
Oh.
Replace them.
Replacing it with, yeah.
I mean, if you take it out, then it's, either way, it's an issue, so I think if you replace it with
It's
the,
a seat part, not the back.
It's
Is
a
the back-
seat.
it's the backs,
It's the
those
two
wooden
slats on the
slats
seat.
that go on the back, it's the bench, and it has a back to it, and then the bottom,
Right, so it's the back part?
No, it's a seat
the
The
seat,
bottom part,
the bottom part,
where you sit.
and it's probably rotted.
So, yeah, it's probably rotted, exactly. I mean, and I think, again, fixes fail, I would say. Just fix that one bench and leave the other one
Well, I
till
know
it
we
breaks.
did a while ago, we fixed the back because we ended up getting new plates for the
Yep.
kids had ruined the plates that were.
Yeah, the
Oh, the
brass
dedica-
plates,
dedication
memory
plates?
of, yeah.
Yeah.
We have new plates put on there, that's why I was asking if.
No.
And we-
if it is in fact a 2x4 and we're thinking plastic, that's gonna be expensive as you know what to try to find a plastic 2x4. I'd say we just for right now, just for cost, let's just put another stick in there. Put another
You'd probably
wooden
get an
2x4.
8-foot pressure treated or something and
Yeah.
cut it in
Put a
half.
couple
I
bucks.
don't
You can
think
find
those are
one.
about 4 feet.
Good luck trying to find pressure-treated lumber
Yeah, I
now.
know, I don't know.
They had it down Country 3
Did
last
they?
when I went, yeah. When I did.
I
the
went,
front of the house.
I was
Replace
looking
it
for something
with
low.
pressure treated
But
wood.
they had it.
No,
Did
all
they?
the money in the
Yeah.
world.
Are they painted? I haven't been in there.
Yeah,
they're
green.
Yeah, I
Alright.
mean,
Yep.
And also,
with that on the gazebo, what about that 4x4 that was supposed to be cut down
Well, that can be done too at the
last
same
year or
time.
so?
Yeah.
well, you weren't gonna cut it all the way off. I thought you were gonna have a sign put made.
Yeah.
Railing?
Top railing.
Yeah.
Isn't there a car show this weekend there too?
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah, the car show's on Sunday.
Huh?
Car show's on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
The other thing too is
I'm just
that,
thinking let's make sure that trash can's out of there before this weekend then, if that's
If possible.
if possible.
Could be happier, okay.
Yeah.
and the other thing is, I went through town here a week or so ago, to go grocery shopping, and there was like 3 kids in there on skateboards on the seats in the gazebo. And I've spoken to them, I spoke to them a few weeks ago about it. You need to, get off the seats with your skateboards.
Right, unfortunately, I think that's a enforcement
Ongoing.
issue, and it's gonna be ongoing. Unless you have somebody there 24/7, you're not gonna be able
I mean,
to curb it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the police see it, they ought to swing in and give them
Right,
holy
if they're
hell.
not busy doing other
Yeah.
things, but
Yeah,
yeah,
if they're
Yeah,
just
they
going
can't.
through.
if possible, yeah.
yeah. That's, yeah,
We
they
can mention
they
that
brought
to
that
the
up to them
chief.
before, we can ask them
Yep.
again. so.
Yeah, mention it to chief, they see any issues going on over there.
People in there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, constantly, the kids are there.
I went by there the other day, there was an elderly couple sitting in there having a picnic.
Good. Yep,
Good for
That's
them.
good, that's fine.
that's what
But
it's there for.
the kids have stopped, though, now that they're, today, at least, because school's back in
You
session.
won't be so hanging out there all day.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, because that was the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Clubs, yeah. Some
You
camp
want,
thing.
you want that 4x4 cut? Take care of it.
Well, if they're
There you
gonna
go.
go fix.
Just,
if they're
I'd
having-
measure it. first to make sure that an 8-footer will do what you mean.
Chainsaw.
I'm not sure if there's a
No, I
4-foot.
mean, no, for that 4x4
Oh.
that's stuck up
That
there.
had that sign on it.
Yeah.
If Benji's gonna be there anyway, let's just have him rip it out of there.
Well,
We
no,
don't-
'cause
we
that
don't
would be
wanna rip
posted
it, 'cause
to
I
put
think-
the Use your own risk sign on.
Sure.
It's cemented in there too,
Well,
isn't
you
it?
cut
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
chainsaw.
Cut
Yeah.
it down the same height as the railing on the
Yeah.
vehicle itself.
Use at your own risk.
If we get that sign.
Chase Park.
Oh, boy.
Couple weeks back, we had an issue with the tree there.
Mm-hmm.
I had requested, Naomi, that you reach out to Benji to see about,
I think they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
yeah, but see about taking down some of the dead trees and get an evaluation of those.
Went over there.
Yeah, he
Has
was,
he? What
yeah.
was the update with that?
Thought he was, I have to ask him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
Some of them I
He
don't,
wanted to make sure which one it was, and I showed him the pictures and whatnot.
It's the one right next to
Yeah, he
the,
said, well, he said, I'm pretty sure that was the one that he said, I wanna go up there and cut the wrong tree.
there's a lot of ones that probably need to come down in there.
I know there was some that I thought he was nervous about too, that was
He
the way they
wanted, I know,
were. And
as
get,
John said, he wanted somebody to mark them.
yeah,
Yeah, just take some
Just
orange paint.
Because he didn't want someone.
Has
coming
that, has that been passed on to Lisa or Janine to mark them?
they had a meeting last night, so I don't know.
out. No, I mean, I didn't tell
I
her.
didn't know.
Okay. I will ask them to go ahead and mark it with some
Yeah,
kind
'cause
of,
he really wanted someone to mark what they wanted.
They ought to maybe coordinate
Yes.
with him and have him go over and see which ones are which, because they don't,
As long as they know, they
So-
will coordinate with him.
yeah.
But I don't, like I said, I don't know, he went over and they cleaned up the mess, but I think the discussion was somebody marking it off.
He did say he wanted to mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, only
Okay.
because he was afraid they get carried and get too many.
no, that's fine. And I think this winter would be a great time to do it when nobody's using it and there's snow on the ground and less chance of asphalt getting
Do you know if
damaged.
the park's just open weekends? Is that
Yes.
the deal?
As of right now
Until
until,
October, right?
correct.
And, you know, and John and I kind of talked about it too, and we kind of came to the same conclusion, depending on finances, just close the park. If it's that much of a safety risk on those trees.
Well, it's almost the end of the season now, so.
I understand that, but if it was gonna continue to be a safety issue as far as the trees, we're just gonna close the park. Just because, you know, if the DPW or Benji could not safely take those trees away, and we were gonna have to hire somebody to come in, we were gonna have to get quotes, and again, not knowing we're going into the fourth quarter, it was gonna be close the doors, you know, unfortunately, it's not something we wanna do, but we also don't want trees falling on vehicles or people.
Or
Yeah, the
people.
drawdown starts sometime in Columbus Day weekend.
Yeah, right after Columbus Day weekend, they draw it down.
Well, there'll be
Alright.
some
And
more
now
on the
daytimes
river.
are getting shorter, so their hours must be shorter.
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna reach out to Parks and Rec? Okay. That's all I have.
That's all I have.
Hey, anything else? Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Good night, everyone.